Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. That is 11 a.m. now if you're in Australia, or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK or Europe. I hope you guys are well. Every time daylight saving starts, you guys get it wrong. You guys in the US, you've got no excuse. It should be the same time for you. That's what's always 5 p.m. Pacific time. It only changes in Australia. Really? I hope you guys are well though. I hope you had a good weekend. Remember, if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch channel or going to my YouTube channel /Phil Does 3D. We're going to continue working on the House on the Hollow game, but let me just catch up with the chat. Silly time zones, Hellforge says. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you. Hello to you as well. Hellforge is doing pretty good. That's good. What else have we got here? Spent all day working on a new project. Oh, cool. I think I'm finally out of the blockage stage, Hellforge says. Hellforge says, I found a cool concept pistol that I wanted to turn into a 3D model. The only downside is that concept piece is so flat. So I've been wrecking my brain trying to add more depth to it. Thank you, Hellforge. Hellforge has popped a link to the Discord in the Twitch chat. If you want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord, click that link. Or if you're watching me back on YouTube, if you go to my Twitch channel, you'll find a link to that in the description below my video on YouTube. Go to my Twitch page and under the About Me section at the top, if you click that, you'll find a link in the panels to join the Phil Does 3D Discord. And if you want to wishlist the game that we're going to continue working on an asset for today, you can do that on Steam by either clicking the link that Hellforge popped into Twitch chat, or if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm pretty sure in the description below my video, you will find a link to take you to the Steam store page. And my website, thank you Hellforge. If you want to find out more about me and what I do and who I am, you can go to Phil Does 3D and put a .com on the end of it. That'll take you to my website. But hey Hellforge, hey Sniper Girl, it's good to see you guys. Euro, hey Euro, it's good to see you as well. So Euro remembered what time it was. Sniper Girl says, waiting for Phil Does 3D to see the resub. Oh, sorry, Sniper Girl. Thank you for the resub. And how long have you been sub for 31 months? Man, you are absolutely awesome. I do appreciate it, guys and girls, when you do sub to the channel. And thank you, Sniper Girl, for the 31-month subscription. I want to thank Android Lust as well for last week's gifting of subs. That was really, really nice and generous. So thank you, Android Lust, as well. But thank you for reminding me, Sniper Girl, because I keep forgetting to look over there. Euro says, I'm good. I've been catching up on house things I've neglected for ages. Don't you hate the cleaning and the house stuff? I know I do. Cleaning. Never ending cleaning. Where does all the dust come from? Tell me. I mean, I clean and then like a week later everything's covered in dust again. Where is it coming from? I mean, my windows are closed because it's been cold here. How does it get in? It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Oh, good. Hellforge just popped a link to current progress. Now, I noticed in the Discord that Sniper Girl has posted pictures from her drone, so I want to show those. We'll do it toward the end of the stream, though. Smurf has been working on trying to replace the capacitors on his broken monitor. And they are bulge caps, as Euro is saying, even though they don't look completely destroyed. The fact that there is that little bit of goo at the top of it, and the way the top of the cap is pushed up a little bit, that means that the cap is blown. Magic Hellforge says. And also in the gallery I noticed that Wax Kink has posted some images. Sniper Girl's posted an image as well, I think. No, it's a Sniper Echo, hang on. No, it's Sniper Girl. So I'll show those off. Sniper Echo did post an image of his node graph there, which looks quite complicated. We'll look at that too. And I see that Hellforge has posted the final of his gun, his Remington 870 12 gauge. So we'll check all of those out just before I sign off for today. But let me just check this image here that Hellforge has posted because I'm curious. The one that he posted in Discord, that is. Sorry, in Twitch chats, rather. I'm sorry. I looked over at my OBS screen and it's because of this new background image. I had to take two. I wasn't sure what was going on because I'm used to my cloud thing going in the background. It confused me. You know it's easy to confuse, Phil. That's my website, by the way, if anyone wants to check out what I do. Oh, it's coming along. Yeah, no, it's looking good. I like the detail you were going on. Hellforge looks really cool. Very nice. And the actual ArtStation link you've got to your gun looks amazing. And I will show it just before I close off today. I look forward to seeing this one too, because if it's half as good as the one that you've put in your ArtStation, it's going to be amazing. Coffee, Hellforge says yes, coffee's a good idea. Sniper Girl says you're welcome. So no comment on the resub message? I don't get the messages that you when you guys resub, I don't think. Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure it doesn't tell me what the message is. It just shows me that somebody's resubbed because I use Streamlabs chatbot. What was the message, Sniper Girl? I keep forgetting that you guys can attach messages when you resub. Pop it in the chat because I can't see it. Sorry. Maybe I should look into that. Oh, hang on. Oh, she's already posted it and I'm not reading fast enough. My brain's working too slow. She says, a resub message, 31 months, WTF. What am I doing with my life supporting an old guy like you for this long? Oh, thank you so much, Sniper Girl. Oh, wow. Yes, why are you supporting an old guy like me for so long? Why are you guys watching an old guy like me? I do appreciate it, though. And I appreciate the sub even with the rude message. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. If you do attach a message in your resub or your sub, I don't see it. But pop it in the chat. Sniper Girl says to Hellforge, the first thing I see when I see that emote is a dumpster fire. That's what it looks like to me too. It does look like a dumpster fire. Hellforge says that perfectly describes my topology. Hey Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, buddy. We were just looking and talking about your we weren't looking at it, but I was just talking about your node tree there and that you posted in the Discord. That's a full-on node tree there. I was saying I'm going to show it just before I sign off for the day. Everybody's work that they've posted in Discord. But yeah, that node tree, wow. I hope you're well though, Sniper Echo. Sniper Girl says nothing but love. You know me. I know you. It's okay. I joke with you like you joke with me. You know, if you ever really offended me, I'd just ban you. I wouldn't ban you. It would take a lot for me to ban anyone in my chat, but never say never. Hellforge says some quality node spaghetti to Sniper Echo. Yeah, it certainly is. As long as it works, and it doesn't have to look pretty, as long as it works. And look, I'm the same. When I'm working on something using the node graph, I don't tend to worry about making it pretty. As long as I'm more concerned with making it work. You can always go back and make it pretty if you wanted to, but unless other people are going to be working on it after me, then I don't really worry about that stuff too much. Sniper Echo says, yeah, that node tree is pretty lean now. It used to be more crazy. Oh, okay. So you cut it back? Another girl says, wow, can only imagine. I can only imagine too. But anyway, like I said, as long as it works, doesn't have to be pretty, as long as it works. So yeah, we're working on the main gate for the driveway of the game. So this is actually not going to be in the landscape we've been working on, which is the main building landscape. This is going to be a landscape before you get to the main building landscape. I have to say too, one of my hard drives died. And yeah, so I did actually lose some files, which is really annoying because the entire 3 terabyte drive died. It's a hard drive. So that was fun. That happened, when did that happen? Yesterday or the day before? One of the two. Thankfully though, I keep a backup of everything relating to the game, so it did not affect the game in any way. We have backups. Other guys have backups as well. But yeah, I did lose some files, which is really annoying. I'm actually trying to do a recovery on the hard drive at the moment to see if I can salvage anything. And I ordered a new SSD to replace the hard drive. So I'm not going, anytime a drive dies now, a hard drive, I don't replace it with hard drives anymore. It's all SSDs. So I'm just waiting for that to be delivered. Having said that though, I did buy another external hard drive that I'm using for external backups. So the only thing that I'll be buying for hard drives these days is going to be for backup work. All of my main drives are going to be switched over to SSD, which means now I've only got one 3 terabyte SSD in the machine, and when that kicks it, I will replace that with another SSD. I'm sick of these hard drives, bugger them. Sniper Girl says, we'll start working in 15 minutes, saying this be his YouTubers. Thank you, Sniper Girl. The YouTubers who watch me regularly now know what I'm like. So. And they can fast forward me anyway. Halford says, a landscape in a landscape. Yeah, it won't be, well, no, it's not a landscape in a landscape. Inception. Landscape Inception, no. It's, when you start the game, you'll start in the first landscape. And because we use level streaming in the game, when you get through to a certain point, then we load in the second landscape and unload the first landscape. And then in the second landscape, which is the one with the building, once you get to a certain point in the game in there, or a certain spot, then another landscape will be loaded and the main building landscape will be unloaded. So we do that just to keep the performance up. So 3 landscapes all up. Start landscape, building landscape, and end landscape. Sniper Girl says, wow, that sucks. Sorry to hear about your hard drive. Yeah, look, it's always the way. But like I said, unfortunate. Look, the really unfortunate thing about the hard drive dying was I had a backup of the entire drive, but it was an old backup. Like it wasn't a current one. I back up my main work every day. At the end of every day, everything gets backed up on like the game's D drive that you see up here. My C drive for my operating system, they both get backed up daily. That's an external drive. It doesn't get backed up, but it just has copies of what's on here for the game. This one with the question mark, the E drive is the one that died, which is my work drive, as you see. So that was a bit annoying because yeah, I had an old backup from a few months ago, but I deleted it 2 weeks ago because I thought, oh, this backup is really old. I'll delete it to free up some space on the backup external drive, and then I'll re-image my main drive, when I get around to it. Well, I didn't get around to it quickly enough and that drive died. So yeah, it just annoyed me that it died a couple of weeks after I deleted the backup I'd made from a few months ago, which wasn't up to date anyway, but at least it would have been something. So I've got to try and see if I can't recover some files from the dead drive. I don't like my chances. Usually you can't recover stuff like that from a dead hard drive, but I'll give it a go. I'm up for the challenge. If I can't, which I probably won't be able to, yeah, I've lost some files. Nothing mission critical though. Even though it is my main work drive that died, it's nothing mission critical. So. Annoying, yes, very annoying. See, let this be a lesson to all of you to back up regularly. I think Smurf one of his drives died a few weeks ago as well. It must just be that time of the year. Hellforge with YouTube. Sniper Girl says they can fast forward. Looks for fast forward, but I'm pretty sure you can. Can't you? Well, you can fast forward. Come on, you've got the little bar at the bottom of a YouTube video that you can move forward, or you can change the speed of the video as well. Make me sound like a chipmunk if you want. You know, speed me up by 2 or 4 times. That's what when I was doing this, I thought to myself, because Hellforge is saying giving the middle finger to the viewers like a boss. When I was doing this, I was thinking, oh no, that's going to be on YouTube, and it's me giving the finger to everyone. Copy and save, but we won't save, but we will have a copy. Now, don't you people think, because, you know, I just upgraded to Windows 11, that it was Windows 11 that caused my hard drive to die? It wasn't. I noticed a few weeks ago when I was still working with Windows 10 that every time I went to open the drive, unlike most drives, like if I go to open it, it opens up pretty much immediately. The one that was faulty was taking a second or two before it opened up. So that I should have known from that there was a problem. There was potentially a problem. But Windows didn't warn me. Because normally in Windows, you can get it, it will warn you if a drive is about to die. So if I go to Control Panel and Security and Maintenance, it will tell you, because it's supposed to check your drive. See, it says drive status OK. All drives are working properly. Well, it continued saying that up until right to the minute that the hard drive died. And usually with a hard drive, you get some warning because it starts to click, or there's some, you know, something like that starts to happen before it'll die. This one didn't really do that. It didn't click, sounded fine. Like I said, I noticed it was slow to open up sometimes. And the reason that it actually ended up dying was I went to open a file on that drive, and Windows came up with an error message then saying that there was a problem with a bad sector or something. So I went to do a check disk on it, which is built into Windows, and that seemed to completely kill the drive. So beware of check disk. I wasn't doing all it was doing was scanning the drive for bad sectors, and that seemed to kill the drive. So anyway, no more hard drives, all SSDs now, even though they die as well, but you know, everything dies. So we're going to start working, and we're going to work on this gate. We need to UV map it, and then we're going to texture it up. Now again, I'm not usually with this, as I mentioned last week when I briefly showed you the gate, normally what I do is I texture one half of the gate, and then I flip, you know, I mirror it in the game for the other side, and that saves on our texture memory and stuff. Now I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm actually going to UV map both of them and texture them up as separate textures, because I want the main gate here to look a bit more unique, and the fact that they're not complete mirrors of each other, because one has an F and one has a B, so they can't really use the same texture map anyway. Now, so I'm going to end up with 2 texture maps, whichever way I would do it. If I used one texture map for this, and I used the same texture map for this, and I separated the F and the B and gave it its own texture, that would still be 2 texture maps. So this way is easier. I'll just use a texture map for that one and a texture map for that one. And I probably will just use the one texture map for this, and we'll repeat it on this one. The same with the urns, obviously, because there'll be an urn over here as well. Hellforge says, Phil, do you bake down simple filigrees on less important objects, or keep them as geometry for the game? I do both. You'll notice, I don't know if you guys can see here, but you're looking at the lower res version of the model. I do have a high res version as well, so let's check that out. So we will be doing a bake down. So these are the high res. So that's the high res version of the mesh. that we'll use to bake down to the low. But you look at the urn, that's probably going to be a good example of what I mean. So the high res urn here, and if I show you the low res urn, hang on, that's the wrong one, that one, there we go. So you see from the low res to the high res, so I keep some geometry in the low res, just basic shapes to give it a bit of depth in the silhouette, as opposed to having it just like a cylinder that's flat and then baking down the filigree. The problem with that is if you look at a silhouette on anything, it's going to be flat, and so it's not going to look realistic. Whereas if you keep a little bit of definition, it keeps the silhouette but removes a lot of the polys anyway. So yeah, high res to the low res version there. So I do both. Anyway, let's go back to the low res now. That seems like a good way of doing it. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, again, it's going to depend on whether you can see the silhouette or not. And you can certainly see it on the filigree here on the gate. Like when the gate opens and closes, you'll see it quite distinctively. Things like here on the fence posts where it's like a flat surface, and if you go to you can still see it though, sort of on the edge, but not as much. So you could probably bake that down to a plane, a low res plane, if you wanted to. Again, I'm not doing it that way, I'm keeping a little bit of definition. So things like that where you can't really see the silhouette when it's side on, less of a problem. But things like the urn where you can actually look around it and you can see the silhouette of it, that you can't fake that. It won't look good. But you could certainly do it here on the fence posts. Yeah. So yeah, it really depends on the model and how you're going to be viewing it and all that sort of jazz. Like if it was an asset that was pretty high up and the player couldn't really look at closely anyway, then you could probably get away without putting geometry for the filigree. I actually did that in the building because up in the skylight there are these little flowery looking filigree. So I modelled those in high res, and then when I baked it down, I just baked it down to a flat plane because the player can never get up there to look at it closely. So yeah, so it will depend on how close the player can get to the object to look at it, what it looks like from the silhouette from side on anyway. So yeah, this filigree work, if you want to bake down detail like that and the player will be able to look at it from the sides, I'd keep a little bit of low poly geometry there. And the engine, the Unreal Engine now, even if you're not using UE4, which is unlimited polygons, the engine can handle hundreds, millions of polygons without a problem. So you don't really have that issue much anymore in games. I mean, it's always good to optimize as much as you can anyway, because I mean, it'll just run faster the more optimized a mesh is, but the engine can handle a lot of polys. And the Unreal Engine 5, of course, can handle, well, they don't recommend you do any reduction at all anymore. If you're using Unreal Engine 5, you're not supposed to do any poly reduction, you're supposed to work with your high-res models. That's the new workflow that they recommend. So you do no normal map baking at all. In fact, I don't even think you're meant to use normal maps anymore. You just go directly with the high resolution poly mesh. So I'm looking forward to start playing with the Unreal Engine 5 when it comes out of beta. Healthwood says, alright, I've been thinking about doing some smaller props for a larger environment thingy. I'm going to get around to at some point. So hearing this is good to know going forward. Yeah, well, it's good to know for anyone that wants, that's making high and low poly modeling. Again, I want to play with Unreal Engine 5 once Epic releases it officially, and it's not in pre-release or beta or whatever it is at the moment. And I want to do some tests in the engine to see what looks best and what works best. I'd still probably, because the Unreal Engine 5 will still accept normal maps, they're not taking them away. Like I said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So just because you can use high poly models everywhere and don't do any baking down or anything, doesn't mean you should. Probably a mixture of the both is probably the best workflow to go with. But again, I want to play with the engine, see what it's like, see how it performs. Yeah, but it's intriguing. I like the Unreal Engine 5 does look pretty amazing from what I've seen of videos on YouTube that people have been playing with it. The amount of poly detail you can get now is quite incredible, and draw calls as well. Unlimited draw calls. Sniper Girl says to Hellforge, awesome. Look forward to seeing what you end up doing. Yeah, me too. Honestly, what you do as well. But he's working on his pistol at the moment, so another gun. Sniper Echo says, with regard to UE5, be careful not to have too much poly overdraw. It's as hard on performance as alpha overdraw. Yeah, well, alpha overdraw will certainly kill performance. You generally get that with environments like trees and things, grass. Can be a big problem with alpha overdraw. Unless you're modeling the leaves as meshes and you're not using an alpha. Are you working with UE5 Sniper Echo? I'm curious because I know that Sniper Echo is working on a game as well. Are you doing it in UE5? That's a brave thing to be doing in an engine that's still in beta. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I haven't played with it. It could be quite stable for all I know. My only concern with working in UE5 at the moment is, will you be able to upgrade the project to the final version of UE5 once it's released? Because as I warned you guys last week, don't update your engine. If you're working on a project in UE4, don't convert it to 4.27 if you want to work then in UE5, because you cannot take a project done in 4.27 and bring it into UE5. Only from 4.26 and down. Again, this is something Epic have done. I don't know why they did it, but with 4.27 you can't migrate your project into UE5. So just a warning, be careful if you're upgrading to the new versions of the Unreal Engine. Sniper says, yeah, I have two builds of master in UE4.27, but I run an automated build in UE5 also. Okay, yeah. So far, I have no errors. Yeah, yeah. Just be careful though. You won't be able to migrate from 4.27 a project that's in 4.27 to Unreal Engine 5. Epic Games have not allowed you to go from 4.27 to UE5. If they're separate projects, that's fine, which you should be doing anyway. Don't ever migrate a project that's your main project directly. Make a copy of it and migrate the copy. That way you've always got the original you can go back to. Yeah, and I haven't played with UE5. I can't actually migrate our project to UE5 at the moment, even if I wanted to, because we have to make some changes to the save and load system, and yeah, there's quite a few systems that are already integrated into the engine that we'd have to upgrade for UE5. So, but I'll look at that once it comes out of beta, maybe. But we're not targeting UE5 for the game release at this stage, anyway. Crosswind, hey Crosswind, it's good to see you. Says, how does mesh deformation work in UE5 then? Is it capable of recalculating millions of polys on the fly like that? No, I believe that mesh deformation does not work with the new high poly system in UE5. So anything that has mesh deformation, you can't. Well, what do they call it when you nanite? You can't enable nanite on a mesh that does deformation, which is why you see a lot of a lot of the stuff that's been shown doesn't include a lot of environments because, yeah, trees move. So, Sniper Echo says, yeah, I only dev in UE427. The automated UE5 build is just for fun mostly. I'm not actively developing UE5. Good. I was worried. I thought you'd switched your production project into UE5, and I wouldn't be doing that at this stage for anyone. I know there are some game studios that are working in UE5. They're brave. I wouldn't. Not yet. But if you wanted just to play with it, for sure. No mesh deformation on nanite meshes at this stage. I mean, Epic are working on it, I think. Hellforge says, my mentor is a senior weapon artist. Okay, so it makes sense to go down the weapon artist path of 3D. I still really enjoy doing hard surface stuff in general, but I have to pick somewhere to start in the industry, and that seems as good a place as any. Hey, listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not. Yeah, that's fine. But you make what you want. You make whatever you enjoy making. I mean, you know. Hellforge says, so I do environment and vehicles on the side when I need a break from grinding out portfolio pieces. Yeah, well, that's fine. It's all good. You make, like I said, guys, model and make what you want. Whether it's guns or cars or whatever. If that's what you enjoy doing, then do it. My advice has only always ever been, if you want a job in the industry, don't fill your portfolio with just guns and cars. People want to see you have a bit of a range, because you're not always going to be working on a gun or a car. They want to know you can make other stuff. So just from a work point of view, if you want to get work, round your portfolio out a bit. That's all I'm saying. Sniper Echo says to Crosswind, do you mean mesh displacement? Android Lost says, hey Hellforge. Sniper Girl says, hi. Oh, Android Lost. Hey Android Lost. It's good to see you, buddy. Sorry. I didn't notice you pop into chat there. It's good to see you, Android Lost. And I want to thank the kind follower for following the channel as well. See, I remember to look over there this time. Thank you, the kind follower for the follow. I do appreciate it, guys, when you follow the channel as well. So if you can't subscribe, that's cool. I mean, I do like it when you sub, but following is good as well. So welcome to Phildoes 3D, the kind follower. Euro says, my internet went out for 30 minutes. Must be some geezer in the exchange playing with wires. Well, did you guys hear about the big... Oh, look, I'm never going to get any work done. Did you guys hear about the Facebook outage this morning? It's been all over the news. Like Facebook, Instagram, everything went down for like 6 hours. It's only just starting to come back up now. I know you guys probably... I don't do social media much, but... yeah. And Facebook's share price fell like 5% or something. So the market didn't like it. They couldn't track all that data for 6 hours. Crosswind says, no, I mean like physically deforming the mesh, similar to how vehicle damage worked in GTA 4. If they say you just use your high poly mesh for everything, I wonder if UE5 could handle a mesh deforming with hundreds of thousands of polys in real time. Yeah, no, nanite, you need to use nanite. You have to enable nanite. It's like a checkbox in the properties of the mesh. And if you enable nanite, nanite does not work with mesh deformation. So, as far as I'm aware. I think Epic are looking into trying to change that, but at the moment it doesn't. Which is again why you don't see a lot of environment stuff in the demos you see for UE5. Like not lots of trees and grass and stuff, because that can't take advantage of nanite. Not unless it doesn't move. If it's a still static mesh, then fine. If it's not just a static mesh, you can't use nanite. Android Lost says to Sniper Girl, I'm trying to quit my energy drink addiction again. Oh, wow. Sniper Girl says to Android Lost, wish you luck. No, you can do it this time. Yes, you did it last time. You can do it again. It's okay to have an energy drink now and again. I mean, that's okay. Just not too many. Or too often. Hellforge says they have a bunch of other really cool artwork. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, you have a bunch of other really cool artwork from the game that really made me want to do some environment pieces. which is this. Hang on, I gotta have a look. You tempt me with these links and I gotta have a look. I just can't help myself. My curiosity gets the best of me. Hang on, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did wrong. I didn't copy the link correctly. Didn't put a H there. Oh, this is the cyberpunky looking thing. It's very nice. The Ascent. Yeah, nice detail work in the environment here. Nice use of color as well, actually. You know, I find it quite funny, or not funny, but interesting that ever since Cyberpunk came out, there's been this huge influx of people doing cyberpunkish environments and characters, which is fine. You know, it's a Zeitgeist, that's what everyone's looking at the moment, so people want to replicate it. I do have to say, I think these environments probably look nicer than Cyberpunk's. Yeah, they look really cool. Nice work here. I can see why that would inspire you though, Hellforge. Here it says Twitter had hundreds of millions of new signups because the Facebook junkies couldn't get their fix. Isn't that sad? I don't know about you, but I think that's sad. The people, I've never understood the addiction to social media. I just don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm just an old buddy-duddy, Sniper Girl would say, but I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't think it's good for society. I don't see the appeal, really. I mean, I use it. I have social media. Doesn't mean I like it. And I certainly don't check my phone 20 times a day or read social media all day long. So it's funny though, hundreds of millions of signups because Facebook went down. What's this other link? You're never going to let me work, guys, are you? So what's this other link here? Because you know I can't resist. Hellforge has popped another link here for an art station. Beautiful work, actually. Has this game been released yet? Because the detail work is quite incredible. Have they released this? These are in-game shots, aren't they? Yeah, it looks beautiful. Beautiful work. Really, really beautiful. You know, beautiful as in really nice use of color, great looking models, nice texturing. Detail is incredible. I must check this Ascent out because I'm not familiar with it. I mean, yeah, but it does look amazing. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with this. I've got to do a search on this game actually. The name is familiar, like the Ascent, that name is familiar unless I'm confusing it with something else. Let me have a look here. There's a video online. Let's check that out. I'm just going to turn the audio off. Oh, is it isometric? What's going on here? Oh, it's not one of these things, is it? Will they take forever to show you anything? They're going through the menu system. I have actually seen, yeah, I'm familiar with this. I did read an article about this game. Yeah, isometric, 3D isometric, yep. No, that doesn't take away from the impressive design work here for the environments. There's too much of this. Stop doing that. Show me the environment. Yeah, this is look, not the sort of game I would personally play. I don't really like these isometric 3D games. But the environment does look quite beautiful. Yeah, you can see, I was curious because you can get away with, when you're doing an isometric game like this, where it's not, I don't want to say not proper 3D, it is 3D, but where you don't have a camera where you can look around or move really close to things, you can get away with adding a lot more detail than you would otherwise not be able to do. It's more performant. So yeah, I was curious. If it was first person, I would have been blown away. But seeing it's isometric, I'm still blown away. The environments are beautiful, texturing work is lovely. But it makes more sense being an isometric game. Yeah, that's enough of that. Let me catch up with the chat here. Helpwood says, and it'll give me the perfect reason to get back into Substance Designer again. For sure. Sniper Girl says, haven't used Facebook in years, didn't notice it going down. Yeah, no, it went down. Look, we have a Facebook page for the game. I don't have a personal one. Oh, well, actually I do because I needed one because of the VR, but anyway, I don't use it. We have a Facebook page for the game. I have a personal Twitter page, as you guys know, Phil Does 3D, so that I can let you guys know when I can't stream or what's going on. But I have the Discord, and I think the Discord's much more useful than any social media. I like the Discord much better. It's much more useful than social media is just, it's just full of crap. It's just pictures of what people are eating or just random thoughts that people have during the day, or I don't know. Most of it's just crap. They're crap posts. I don't care what you ate. I don't want to see a picture of what you've been eating. You know, I don't care what random thought popped into your head at that very minute. I just don't care. I don't want to read it. I don't care. I don't get people. I just don't. Do something more productive with your time. Now I really do sound old, don't I? Android Lost says an energy drink now and then turns into once a day. Once a day turns into twice a day, and then that's when I quit again. Yeah, 2 energy drinks a day. That's starting to push it, Android Lost. I'll be careful there. Because you know they're really bad for your heart. I mean, you know, pumping that much caffeine into you. He says as he has a drink of coffee. Sniper Echo says to Crosswind, you can do deformation, but it's not done the same way as it is in UE4. I haven't done it in ages now. I think it's still under heavy development. Yeah, so that's the thing with UE5. A lot of things in that engine are still under heavy development. So that's the reason I've sort of like not played with it until they sort of decide that they're going to lock something down and release it officially. Sniper Echo says the Hellforge very cool. Smurf says some friends of mine were playing Ascent. Maybe that's where I heard it, because maybe you mentioned it on stream, I think, Smurf, and that's probably where I heard it. But I do remember reading an article on the game, yeah, like about a month ago. Yura says they managed to queue up at the same time. Not sure what you mean, Euro. Hellford says, yeah, that's the game's out now. Euro says, Tor Frick is the creative director at Neon Giant, The Ascent. Oh, okay. Oh, he's done a beautiful job. I can't fault the environments, the detailing, the texturing, the colours. Really nice job. So this Tor Frick is obviously a very talented creative director. Sniper Girl says, Phil will eventually actually do 3D work, don't worry, YouTube. It will just be in 2 years. We'll start soon. Yura says, Tours Art Station. Oh, I'm never going to get anything. I'm sorry, YouTube people. I've just got to check this out. You guys, if you're watching me, then you're interested in how other 3D people do stuff, so this is all good. It's all a learning experience, people. So this is Tour Frick's art station. And this is a gentleman that is the creative director on the Ascent, the game. And so it's a beautiful work. Which I was in no doubt he would, having seen the images from the game. Interesting here though, he doesn't have a lot of environment work. He's got a lot of character work. A lot of robots and characters. Not a lot of environment work though. I mean, he has some, don't get me wrong. And very nice environment work by the look of it too. But he does have a lot of character work. Yeah, beautiful. Obviously beautiful work. Yeah, it's beautiful. Like you say, he's the co-founder as well. That makes a lot of sense. Of the game studio. Yeah, lovely. Lovely work. Oh, did he do some work in Fallout 4? Okay. And Wolfstein as well. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Creative man. Or talented man, I mean to say. Healthwood says, not my preferred gameplay either, but I love the environment and the environments are beautiful. Sniper Girl says, yeah, agreed, the environment is beautiful. Android Lust says, I used to love those types of games like 10 years ago. I haven't played an isometric shooter in a while. The last isometric shooter I played was one of those dungeon crawler ones. What was it? It was really popular ages ago. I want to say Diablo. I could be wrong. Yeah, anyway, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played an isometric. Helpwood says, I just use the Discord for keeping up to date when you're streaming or not. Well, that's not good enough, Hellforge. That's not true. You post images in the gallery and stuff, so that's not true. But the Discord is a good way for you guys to know if I have my Twitter. So you can always go to my Twitter to see if there's a problem with me streaming or if I need to tell you guys anything important. But I also always post it in the Discord, the Phil Does 3D Discord, so. And I like Discord much better than I like Twitter or Facebook. But I use Twitter for Phil Does 3D. And we use Facebook for the game, The House in the Hollow. Yura says, the last isometric game I played was Runner or Ruiner. The Ascent looks pretty similar. Android Lust says, those games can be very fun multiplayer with friends. I couldn't play it alone, but it looks good. Ruiner? Is it Ruiner? Yura says, Ruiner was actually really good, even on single player game. Sniper agrees, he's really good. Yes, he's very good, this creative director guy. Bill has some copy, good idea. Euro says he streams occasionally, though I haven't seen him in a while. Okay. Elfwood says, I meant that I don't use social media to keep up on your schedule. Okay, cool. My schedule is on Discord as well. So let's start doing some work. Okay, YouTube, get ready. Here we go. We're going to start. I'm not going to UV map the urn because it's a photogrammetry object. And it does have a texture map, which we may use, or we may not, or we may use and change. We'll work that out when we get to the urn. But because I probably want to use the original texture map from the photogrammetry object, I'm not going to re-UV map that. Getting back to what we were talking about, yeah. So we're going to have one texture map for that gate, one texture map for that gate, and we'll probably only have one texture map here for this post, and we're going to reuse the same texture map on the other posts. And what we can do is we can just rotate the posts around. Hang on, let me have a look. Oh, no, we can't. Okay. because I didn't put any detailing back here. We could put detailing in and rotate them, but I don't think you're going to notice anyway that we're reusing the same texture on all the posts. We are going to be creating a fence for this gate, which we will do after we've UV mapped it and textured it, because I want to reuse parts of the metal work in the filigree here when we start working on the actual fence itself that goes around the drive. So now we might start with the post, I think. So what we could, like, you might think, oh, why don't you just do a box mapping on this? And we could, but with a box map, we're going to start to get some stretching happening along the edges of the filigree. So while it would work, a box map would work if the player could never get too close to the object, or if, say, you're doing a render and you're doing something for a render, you're not doing it for a real-time game. You could box map this, and that would work, because in your render you're going to be like this far away. But if a player in a 3D game can get close to the object, like here, a box map is going to give us stretching on the UVs on the sides here of the filigree. So we can't really get away with doing a box map on this. So I just wanted to sort of point that out before we started working on all of this detail work, because it is quite time consuming and fiddly and annoying. That's the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And again, there's always 10 ways to get something done in 3D as well. And the way that I haven't said this for ages actually, the way I do it is not the only way to do it. I don't even suggest it's the best way to do it, but it's my way that I do it. So I want to get that out of the way right from the start. I used to say it all the time because, I don't know, you often get people saying, you're doing it wrong. That's not the way to do it. Well, that's the way I do it. Might not be the way you do it, but that's the way I do it. And there's 10 ways to get the same result, to get to an end result in 3D. 10 different ways to get to the same end result. That's what I'm trying to say. Sniper Girl says, does Phil really need copy when he just talked the entire time? Of course I do. The more copy the better. And just for that I'm going to have more copy. You know, if I could talk and drink coffee at the same time, I would. If there was some magical way I could do that, if I could talk and drink coffee and work all at the same time, I'd be a happy man. Hellboy says, damn it, YouTube. Android Lust says, will there be any metal on the part? Yeah, actually, I'm thinking when we come to texture it up is when we'll make the final decision, but I'm thinking, yeah, the posts will be metal, the gate obviously will be metal. So I'm thinking all metal, including the urn. So urn, posts and gate will all be metal. The actual fence, again, we're going to take pieces from here to make the fence. But I think the fence will probably be either be a stone or a render, like what do they call it? Like a plaster render. We'll decide that once we start designing up the shape of the fences though. I always make those sort of decisions once I've got everything else sort of set up a little bit more clearly. Helps it. Yeah, once I texture things up, it helps me to sort of like then design the rest of the fence. How I want it to look and all that sort of jazz. I never make those decisions until I'm sort of partway through. Smurf says the way that do things is the best way to do things. Oh, what's this? What is that? What's that symbol? What's that mean? The way that I do things is the best way to do things. Ah, okay. Of course. Sniper Rico says, Phil's way or the highway. That's how we roll here. That's right. Mercury says, because my ego can't stand being wrong. Alforge says, maybe one of those beer hat thingies. Oh, I know what you're talking about, like Homer has. But with coffee instead of beer. So it's like, yeah, the beer thing with the straws. Yeah. That would be sad. If I was that desperate to have coffee that I had to wear a hat that I could drink, but I couldn't drink and talk at the same time. See, that doesn't work. Andrew Dust says coffee would be better if it didn't have that aftertaste and if it was just pure vanilla. Oh, I like vanilla too. I do like vanilla. Actually, I just finished over the weekend. I made some bread and butter pudding, and I put heaps of vanilla in that whenever I make it. I love vanilla. So I stewed up some strawberries. So I made like a strawberry conserve, and I made bread and butter pudding because I like to put the conserve on top of the bread and butter pudding. Yum. And lots of vanilla. Always lots of vanilla in the bread and butter pudding. Euro says, and in the conserve as well. Euro says, take bigger mouthfuls of coffee is less sips and more time working. But I've got to make the coffee. I've got to make this little cup of coffee last an entire 2-hour stream. So if I drink it all in one go, then I have to get up and make a new one while I'm streaming. I would, and I could. Sniper Girl says he's finally doing work. Dies of shock. No, not yet. I'm not. Hellport says just wiggling the viewport doesn't count as work. Look, I'm working. Look, I'm working. Pardon me. Sniper, you agree. Sniper Girl says you just wanted Just Chat straight. Look, we had a Just Chat last week. Let's get some stuff done. I'm going to start with one of the fence posts, and I'm going to send that over to Horizon. See, look, I'm starting. And we're gonna do that. I'm just wondering why it's done what it's done here. I'm just going to go back to Max. I want to make sure that my normals are facing in the correct direction because the program for some reason looks like it's flipped them. I could be wrong. Let me just let me just have a look at this. Yeah, it looks to me like the polys may be flipped. We're going to exit out of Horizon here. I'm just going to isolate this and check it in Max. Now, this shows me that... Okay, I see what's going on here. So in Max, this is not flipped, but this is flipped. We can tell because of the difference in color of the red. So... I'm not sure. I think Horizon may be getting confused because it's choosing the flipped as the unflipped and it's flipping the non-flipped, if that makes sense. So what we're going to have to do here is I'm going to go through and reflip this. And we're going to go and check to make sure nothing else is flipped. Okay, the filigree here is flipped as well. So let's flip that. And let's check it again. Okay. I think we're good as far as Max is concerned. That doesn't mean that the program will export the model properly because you guys know this plugin is a bit iffy sometimes. It's free, so I can't complain, but I will anyway. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to, actually, this is a new install of Max because I installed Windows 11 and it looks like I've still got autosave turned on. And you guys know how much I hate the autosave, so I'm just going to go through the preferences here and turn that or make sure it's turned off. Where do they put it? It's been so long because I don't generally mess with the settings once I turn stuff off. Under files. Auto backup, we want to turn that off. Hang on, what's going on here? Helpwood says, otherwise I'd be working right now. Android Helpwood says, sounds like someone needs a tankard for his birthday. I actually have a really big coffee cup. Actually, I should start using it. I did buy some really big coffee cups. I mean, they're quite big. I should start using those. Mira says, that's Smurf says desktop coffee maker. Yeah, that'd be cool. Although I don't really have the room on my desk. Yuri says, that's why I have an oversized coffee mug. It holds 2 regular mugs. No, I should start using a big mug because I do have one. I have a couple actually. Andrew Luss says, I had to Google bread and butter pudding. I've never seen that in my life. It's an English thing, really. Bread and butter pudding is very English. It's very yummy though. Particularly the way I make it because I don't use bread. I use croissants. Sniper Girl says, yep, he's starting. Only been a full hour of him talking without working. I'm sorry, my YouTube people. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. Yuri says, set a sensible number of undo levels. 2. Yeah, where are we? Back up on save. No, I don't want that either. But I do want auto backup switched off because it's annoying. They said 100 levels of undo? What? Has it always been like that? Again, once I have Max installed, I never go back into the settings. Let's cut that back to, let's go to, I don't know, we'll go to 25 undo levels. That should be enough. Generally, if I want to undo something, it's not more than 25 ago. Sniper Girl says, yeah, sensible number like 100. Euro says 500. Come on, people, you don't need that many undo levels. Andrew Luss says 10 undos, so you really learn from your mistakes. Well, 25 is what I'm going to stick to for undos. 100 was a bit too much for me. If I need to undo something, you guys know I save in revisions anyway, so I don't overwrite my original file. So if I need to go back, I can do it. I do that. I don't rely on the undo. So 25 for me is plenty. Sniper Girl says 10, LOL 10, so you can torture yourself. Android Lust says torture is learning. I agree. Alford says depends on the kind of torture. Programming tier torture. Android Lust says Sniper Girl agrees, I guess. Alford says please no. Sniper Girl says I saw Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage yesterday. Yeah, any good? Was it any good at all? No, I just want to make sure that I have everything switched off here before I start working again. General, that's fine. That's fine. We've turned auto backup off. It all looks fine, that's fine. That's all fine. You guys will notice I turn off that view cube as well. I hate that in Max. I find it so annoying. Okay, I think we should be good now. So did you enjoy Venom 2, Sniper Girl? Smurf says, I turn on Infinite Undo in Maya. Android Lust says, I have Infinite on too. Helpwood says, I tried to learn programming at some point. I don't understand any of it. And the only thing I recall is to exclude a line of code. The 2 forward slashes, which, it excludes, yeah. Depending on the scripting language you're using, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a different command. Sometimes it's 2 dashes and a bracket like that thingy. Euro says, I have 300 undos because I have a lot of things scripted. Some of those scripts are multiple levels. Well, I'm going to stick to 25. Sniper Girl, I'll live dangerously. Sniper Girl says, I was actually very good. Hated the first one. It was actually good. Venom 2. Hated the first one. You know, I don't think I've even seen the first one. But if 2 is good, I might check that out. When I'm out of lockdown. Sniper Girl says, the movie redeemed itself for me. I hated the first Venom movie. Android Lust says, at least you tried Hellforge. School forced me. Smurf says, but View Cube is friend. No, I hate the View Cube. I always turn it off. I find it really annoying. Let's send this back over to Rhizome and see if Rhizome has an easier time with it now. Before we do that, let's just do a save. Just to be on the safe side. And send it to Rhizome. Looks like, yeah, see now what Rhizome has done here is it's inverted it all, except for the piece at the bottom, God knows why. Again, it's probably the plugin. It's not Rhizome the program, it's the plugin that we use to send it between Macs and Rhizome. The only other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a reset on the, oh see I haven't set any of this up yet either, because it's a new install of Macs. Let's do that. Let me set up my buttons here. What have we got? I generally like to bring in the bitmap paths that can be useful. What else do we have here? Poly counter I always bring in. Reset XForm is what I want. UVW remove can be useful. Channel info is always, or I always use. That should be. Let's bring one more in. I should have one here for my plugin. Oh, there we go. Polygon Crunch. I'll bring that in. Okay, so we're going to do a reset on the XForm though. Collapse the stack. And let's see if the program has an easier time now. If it doesn't, we'll export the model. There we go. And re-import it, but it looks like that fixed it. Okay. It was never really a problem with the mesh. I don't know. It was just during the export, the program was getting confused. Okay. Except for the bottom. Now the bottom looks like it's flipped here again. So again, I'm going to go back into Max and check that. Well, the joys of working in 3D. Oh, I see what's going on here. See, the bottom is closed, is open. So I think what I might do though is I might seal that. It'll be better, particularly if we're going to be bringing it into a game engine. We don't want any light leakage, even though that would probably be embedded in the landscape in the ground. Just to be on the safe side, we should cap it all, so there's no light leakage. If you wanted to save like two triangles, then you could remove it, but we won't. We want it sealed up. Fourth time's the charm, hey? Again, I'm just checking it. That's good. Let's send it back over again. And now we're all good. Okay. Alright, let's do this. We're going to isolate. We're going to use box mapping on this. And then I guess we'll do the edges. We'll get all the easy parts done first, and then we'll concentrate on doing the all the fiddly bits. I know what's going on here. Another girl says, don't bother to see Venom 1, just see Venom 2. Okay, well, when I get out of lockdown, because I can't go anywhere at the moment. They've got me locked down until the end of the month. Melbourne has now officially taken the crown for the longest lockdown city in the world. We've been in lockdown for longer than anyone else in the world. And boy, do I feel it. No haircuts for months. That's why my hair's looking so bushy. Abigail says, yeah, hated the first one, enough to say that. Halford says, I've accepted the fact that I'll never be a generalist. I rather spend my time and effort between audio and hard surface 3D. Rigging, coding, animating and all that is for better people than me to deal with. You don't need, that's all you need. You can get, if you want to work in the industry, you don't need to know everything. And I've said to you guys, you don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none anyway. So long as you know one or two things really well, then that's all you need. Yura says you will pick up pieces of all that eventually anyway. That's very true. You just want to, when you're first starting out, or you're not, you want to sort of get really good at doing one thing. And once you get good at doing one thing, then you can start trying to learn other things. The same goes for software. Like I know I get a lot of people always ask, should I learn, say they're a Max user, then they say, should I learn Blender? Well, yeah, but make sure you know Max really well first. Or if they're a Blender user, they say, should I use Maya? Well, yeah, but make sure you know Blender really well first, because that'll make it easy if you to learn the other software anyway. So I never discourage people from learning new pieces of software, but I want you to be good at using one piece of software before you start branching out. Same thing goes with 3D modeling and texturing and character work or whatever it is, animation. They're all really interesting. I mean, they're all things that really interest me as well, but I'm not an animator. My strengths are not in animation. So even though I can do basic animation work, I'm not an animator like some of the friends of mine are. That's all they do is animation. And you can tell when you look at my stuff and look at their stuff. That doesn't mean I'm not interested in animation, and when I get a bit of time I don't like to play around with animation, but yeah, I don't call myself an animator. So yeah, never think that you need to know a lot of different things. You don't. You need to know one or two things and be good at one or two things. That'll be enough. Upward says, speaking of which, I did see an Unreal 5 video about procedural music with blueprints that looked cool as heck. There's a lot of really cool stuff in UE5. I mean, there's some really amazing things coming in that engine. A lot of really cool stuff. Just in general in the 3D industry, there's a really, with the use of AI and stuff now, there's some really cool and interesting stuff being developed. Like, go to that 2-minute papers site on YouTube and look at a couple of his videos that he does. Some of the stuff that they're researching at the moment is incredible when it comes to 3D or AI or whatever. Yeah, just some amazing stuff being worked on. Save and copy. Well, I won't save until we send it back to Max. Euro says the back of the hinge. No, the back of the hinge isn't inverted, Euro. It's open. So yeah, it's not actually inverted. It's just open. We might look at that when we jump back into Max. I can't remember. I think the gate. I can't remember if the gate goes up here or not. In fact, let's do a little hinge while we're here. Sniper Girl says, wish they'd lock down here in the US. No, you don't. Way they handle COVID in the South is a joke. Yeah, look, I've heard about the south of the US and how they feel about COVID. I think it's quite... We have people like that in this country though too. Like in Melbourne where I live, we had protests of thousands of people marching through the city, even though we were in lockdown and the people are not allowed to gather in groups outside. We had these people that are anti-vax and anti-lockdown, thousands of them marching through the city demanding that they open everything up. I call those people selfish and stupid. You know, selfish because it affects them and that's all they think about and all they care about. And stupid because if they catch COVID, they could die. So whether they believe that COVID exists or not, the human malware, let's call it that, whether they believe the human malware exists or not, the human malware doesn't care. It'll infect them just the same. And they run the risk of dying just like everyone else. So, stupid, selfish people. No, I'm sorry if you're one of those people watching me on YouTube, but you probably shouldn't be watching me then, because I think it's incredibly selfish and very stupid. Smurf says animation is for people who hate themselves far more than hate me. Look, I like animation, but it's not very good at it. Smurf says, and boy do I hate myself. Yuri says, I don't mind animating. I'm no whiz at it though. Yeah, look, I don't mind it either, but I'm not very good at it. My animator friends are always laughing at me when I try and animate. But that's okay. I give it a go and that's what's important. I don't have to be a superstar. As long as I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm playing around, then I'm happy. Same should go for you guys, no matter what it is you're doing. So long as you're having a good time, that's all that matters. You're not hurting anyone, so bugger it. Making sure I haven't selected anything I shouldn't. Okay, I think we have all of the flattish pieces, or almost all of them. I'm sort of leaving the really detailed stuff until the end. No. No. This is one of those pieces that the program is going to have a problem with. What should do? Well, I have this piece at the back, let's get that done. Healthwood, Yura says, I don't mind animating, I'm no whiz at it though. Healthwood says, you do get pretty animated when someone brings up the interface in ZBrush, so that's something, I guess. Oh, don't you talk to me about ZBrush. I haven't even reinstalled ZBrush since I've reinstalled Windows 11. It's not even on my hard drive. I'm not sure whether I'll put it back on or not. Nero says different kind of animation, and that kind of twitching is really hard to pull off believable. Helpwood says we need to get Phil a mocap suit and talk about ZBrush's interface. That animation pack will be industry standard for that kind of angry twitching. Hellforge says, there's a Discord link, thank you if you want to join the Phildas 3D Discord, click that link. Hellforge has just popped into Twitch chat. Hellforge says, I really should install Rhythm again, I forgot about it when I got my new hard drive. You should, Rhythm's a great program. Android Lust says, blasphemy, you didn't reinstall ZBrush. No, I have not reinstalled ZBrush. Nova Girl says, if you do another ZBrush rant, I will do a silence. Okay. Yura says, not even holding back on it. No, I won't do a rant. I will be good. I will be good. Don't silence me. I'll be good. I'll behave. I guess we'll start at the top and work our way down. That way we won't accidentally forget something. Well, that's the plan anyway. I bet we do forget something. And yeah, again, the new version of Max 2022.2, yeah, .2, they updated the unwrap, the pelt unwrap inside of Max's native UV editor, and they used an updated version of Unfold 3D, which is Rhythm 3D, Rhythm UV, that we're using here. So if you do install the new version of Max, if you're a Max user, you do have an upgraded version of what you see me using here. Or I'm not sure what version Autodesk purchased to include, but I'm assuming it's going to be the same as what you see in the main program here, or a version of it anyway. You don't have all the options you have here in Max, but they did update it and build in this automatic unwrap in Max's UV tools, and they made other improvements in 2022.2 update of Max as well. So I just wanted to mention that if you're a Max user. Again, they updated Maya as well, I believe. Oh, thank you for the field. I love Hellforge. Sniper Girl says, so close to having enough points to make Phil play a game. Well, I do have 2 games ready for you. Witcher 3 and No Man's Sky, they're the only 2 I've put back on yet, but I'll probably end up playing The Witcher 3 anyway, because I like that game. So I'm ready. Oh, Smurfberry says, I'm assuming they're using the same algorithm that they licensed years ago for Maya. Yeah, again, I don't know which one they're actually using Autodesk. I would have hoped, because it's a new update to Max, that maybe they bought a new version of the algorithm, a more recent version that they've included in Max, but you could be right. It would not surprise me, Smurf, to learn that they're just using one that they purchased for Maya years ago. In which case, the Ryzen program here that you see me using will be much better, because it'll be much more recent. Only Autodesk knows. And I don't use it anyway, so. But it's worth trying if you're a Max user and you don't have access to Ryzen. Giving it a go, seeing if it's any better than what used to be in Max, because the pelt mapping in Max used to be pretty bad. The native pelt mapping. So it can't be any worse than that anyway. You can only go up from what, you know, from bad. You can only get better. Hopefully. Yeah, I had a feeling. Just going to try and do this in stages to give the program a little bit of a hand. Getting some stretching happening here. Let's try one of the other unwraps. A little bit of stretching and squishing, but not enough to worry about. Hellboy says, I have 80,000 points. Which game do you want him to play? Sniper Girl says, I was thinking of gifting you a Barbie game and have you play that for the entire stream. Well, that's up to you guys. I mean, yeah, I'll play whatever you guys want me to play, so long as I have it. But I like to play The Witcher 3, because that's my favourite game. But, yep, just play a game. It doesn't say I have to play a specific game, so I will though if you guys have one in mind. A Barbie game. Wouldn't that be fun? Healthwood says classic. Sniper Girl says, well, you know me. Sniper Girl says 80,000 points. Wow. Yeah, you must have been accumulating them for a while. Smurf says he'll try to rules lawyer his way out of the Barbie game. Well, you know, it says play a game. It doesn't say play a game that the viewer chooses. So legally, I am within my right to say. Getting a little stretching happening there. Let's just see if we can get a better unwrap using this one. Yeah, it's better unwrap. Aren't you guys impressed of how quickly I'm doing this UV mapping? Aren't you impressed? Android Lost says, does Steam even have a Barbie game? I'm sure they probably do. Sniper Girl says, oh, I don't see any Barbie games on Steam. Thank God. See if we can get a few of these done at the same time. Let's try the other one. Are we going for time? Okay. Because I do want to show the work-off that you guys posted in the Discord. Looks like I forgot that on the other one, but let's do that now. So we forgot to do that one. Did I forget that one? I did. We'll have to do that in a minute as well. Elfwood says I don't spend my points on silence, so they add up over time. Sniper Girl says, for the drone, do you think a 128GB micro SD card will be enough? Yeah, Smurf is asking, are you going to be taking video or only pictures? Sniper Girl says, pictures for now, maybe both down the road once I get a 107. That's the license, I think. Have some coffee, Hellford says. Well, look, put it this way. You can buy a 128GB card and use it. It should be enough, depending on how many different things you want to turn into photogrammetry, or if that's what you're doing it for. It should still be enough. But if you find it's not enough, then you can either buy another 128GB card, because I'm assuming it's quite easy to take them in and out of the drone, that you can just carry with you. So I think 128GB will be enough, personally. 256GB is probably, particularly if you're going to start taking video, it's probably a better idea. Helpwood says to Sniper Girl, can always gift him Farming Simulator. Sniper Girl says he might have too much fun with that. Helpwood says I'd be down for some multiplayer action if we'll play. No, oh no, not multiplayer, guys. You know I don't do multiplayer. Single player only. I'm antisocial. Helpwood says I may or may not own most of the games in the series. Smurf says I haven't yet managed to fill up my 64GB SD card, and I'm shooting RAW files that are 24 megabytes each, or JPEG that are 12 to 20 megabyte. Yeah, if you're doing stills, then 128GB should be fine. It's only if you want to start doing a lot of video work that I'd suggest maybe something bigger, but like I said, you can just buy 128GB, use it, and if you find it's not enough and you've got to maybe buy another 128GB card or a 256GB, you just carry it with you and swap it out. It's quite easy and quick usually to do. Hellforge says I hate my life. Oh no, Hellforge. Euro says depends on how much video you plan to record. Smurf says 1010 pictures for my largest photogrammetry ever was only 14.7GB as JPEG. I'm trying to remember the last time I went out and did last I was on site doing photogrammetry with a camera. I think I took around 350 or 400 shots. And how much memory did I use? I still think I was probably only at about 100GB with 400 shots. So 128GB are probably fine for shots. And that was a full day. Like I was on site for, God, how long was I there? 9 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon. So about 6 hours. Taking 400 shots. This was not with a drone, this was all by hand. Yeah, that was about 100GB I think. Sniper Girl says, to Smurf, I ended up accidentally recording video on the drone on Saturday. It came with a 32GB card and it filled it mostly up. Your video will start to really chew through the gigabytes. Sniper Girl says, okay, good idea. And it's easy to swap out the SD card. Yeah, they usually are. So you just buy 128GB and then maybe later down the track, if you want to start doing more video work, get another 128 or a 256GB and carry the 128GB with you as well. So yeah, just swap them out. That's what I generally do as well. I have a couple of extra memory cards with me when I'm doing my camera work that I can swap out if one gets full. Smurf says 620 pictures in RAW was 14.5GB. I don't understand how, if you're shooting in RAW, it's so small. Because yeah, I did about 350 to 400 shots in RAW, and that was nearly 100GB. I guess it might, maybe, I guess it depends on the megapixel as well, really. Like, yeah, how many megapixels you're shooting in. Sniper Girl says, okay, so 128 gig will be enough. I believe it will be enough if you're just doing shots, yeah. It should be fine. Hellford says, have any of you played the Odyssey expansion thingy for Elite Dangerous? I've seen some mixed reviews on it. No, I didn't even reinstall Elite when I reinstalled Windows 11. I haven't reinstalled Elite Dangerous or Elite Horizons, or Elite Odyssey is the new one. I haven't purchased that. I've heard bad things about it as well. Mixed reports about how good or bad it is, which is a shame. So I haven't even bothered buying it. Healthwood says, but the planetary stuff looks like fun. Yeah, look, it does. Because the Odyssey stuff in Elite Dangerous is where you can get out of your ship and wander around on the surface of planets. And that does sound cool, but I don't know. You guys see that in my game list here. I've got No Man's Sky installed. Now, that's not like Elite. Well, it's a space exploration, but it's much more stylized, cartoony looking. Cartoony is not the right word, but it's not realistic like Elite is. But there's so much more to do in it than there is in Elite. Elite Dangerous, the worlds are just empty. They just look barren. There's nothing to do. So I'm reluctant to buy Odyssey because there just doesn't seem to be a lot of content in Elite, really. And I don't know, Frontier seem to be, I don't know if they want to let it die or they just don't seem to be focusing as much attention on Elite anymore. Maybe now that they've been bought out by that overseas company, partly bought out anyway, they've lost interest in developing more for Elite. I don't know. It's a shame because it was a good game. Well, it is a good game, but yeah, it's a lot of grind. There's a lot of grind in No Man's Sky too, don't get me wrong, but at least there's more to do. Smurf says, my images are 6,000 by 4,000, which is 24 megapixel. Smurf says, technically that's the JPEG size. The RAWs are 624 by 424. Well, I shoot in 64 megapixels, so maybe that's the reason. Helpwood says, width of an ocean, depth of a puddle. That's exactly right. Helpwood says, same with pretty much all Bethesda games. Yeah, I guess so. But even Bethesda is there's a bit more to do in their games than there is in Elite. Yeah, I mean, I like Elite, don't get me wrong. I've always loved the game, but it can be grindy and there does not seem to be a lot to do in the game, really. Particularly with planets. They really got to flesh out planets, things to do on planets a bit more, which is why I haven't bothered buying Odyssey. Euro says Odyssey is more of the same, just with repetitive FPS missions, and you can't cross-play missions with non-owners of Odyssey. Yeah. Sniper Girl agrees with Hellforge. Smurfberry says, holy crap, Bill. Yeah, that's the reason. Your images have 40 million more pixels than mine. Yeah, I'm shooting in 64 megapixel. Sniper Girl says to Smurf, oh, is that all? Euro says Sniper Girl, linked you the SD cards I buy on Discord. Oh, there you go. We're down to like the last 15 minutes and there's a few things I want to show in the Discord, so we might, how much more do I have to do here? Yeah, I've still got a bit of stuff I got to do on this one, so let's send this back to Max. We're getting here. We nearly got the post done. We got the post like 3/4 done. So that's progress. Let's do a save. We're going to save as a revision. And we're going to make it revision 3. Okay, let me just get everything nice and organized because my OCD is kicking in and it all has to be lined up nicely, otherwise I just freak out. There we go. We're going to check out some of the work you guys have posted in the Discord. So let's close that down. Helpwood says, to be fair to YouTube, I did derail a lot today. I'm sorry. No, that's fine. You didn't derail. That's what Twitch is for. It's a chat platform. You know, unlike YouTube where people go to watch a video and that's all they really do. Maybe they'll comment. Pardon me. Twitch is all about talking and chatting to you guys, so. Helpwood says, not sorry enough not to do it again, but I'm sorry. You can still fast forward the VODs. That's true too. Yes, you can fast forward the VODs. Euro says to Helpwood, being all sorry, not sorry. Abigail says to Helpwood, yep, that you did. How could you? Smokeberry says, what camera do you have? Sony didn't even reach 60 megapixels until 2019. I have a Leica camera. Not a girl says to Helpwood, kidding of course. Helpwood says, I know. Anyway, let's check out the images you guys have posted. So we're going to start with the shots that Sniper Girl posted. Actually, yeah, those caps that you posted, the pictures to Smurf, yeah, they're bad. They're bulging at the top, as Euro mentioned. So they need to be replaced. Easy to do. Just desolder them from the back and solder in new ones. And but you said you already ordered them as well by the look of it. Remember too, if you can't find the exact same cap, you can go higher, but you can't go lower. So see, you say you're looking at two 10 by 14 millimeter 10B by 1000 UF. You could go higher than 1000, but you couldn't go lower. So if you can't find the exact same capacitor, you don't need to, so long as it meets the minimum, as long as it's higher than the minimum. And in that case, it would be 1000. So if you buy anything like it above that, you should be fine. Smurf says, I kind of sucks butts at soldering though. It's easy. It's really easy. I mean, I was the same when I first started soldering because I'd not done it a lot either. What I found the easiest, this is not the right way to solder by the way, but what I found the easiest thing to do is when you're soldering, normally I put the soldering iron next to the wire and then I put the solder on the soldering iron. So most people do it the other way around, but I found it easier to do it that way. So, you know, you got your wire here, you put your soldering iron against the wire and then you move your solder in and touch the soldering iron and let it go around the wire. It's a really bad way to solder, but I found that the easiest way. And it doesn't have to be perfect anyway. I mean, you know, it's inside your monitor, no one's going to see it, as long as it works. Abigail says to Smurf, good luck. Smurfberry says, so this will be a 50-50 chance maybe? So long as you don't spill the solder onto other components, there's very little that can happen or go wrong. Euro says, soldering ain't hard. Solder pump, yep, is essential for... I actually don't use a solder pump. I use... they call it flux, I can't remember. It's like a metal braided stuff that soaks up the old solder. But a solder pump will work better. But I don't have one. I don't do enough soldering to require a solder pump. Yeah, I believe they call it flux. It's like it looks like a metallic braided strip that you put over the solder. You put your soldering iron on top of it and it sucks up all the solder. So if you don't have a pump, then that's just as good. I found it pretty good. Oh, Euro says you can manage without those. Smurf says the liquid metal solder just has too much surface tension. Sniper Girl says, yep, he's going to start showing people's work any minute and not going to another tangent. I know, it doesn't take much, does it? Smurf says it wants stick to the iron and not the thing I'm soldering. Okay. Yeah, that's why I suggest you put your soldering iron next to the wire and then you put your solder up to the soldering iron, and that way it should stick to the wire and not to the soldering iron. So soldering, it's not, yeah, it's annoyingly painful sometimes. Smurf says flux is a waxy liquid thing. Okay, I'm getting it confused then. It's got a name. I thought it was flux, but you are correct. I think flux is stuff you put on the board to stop it from overheating. I can't remember what it's called. But it looks like a wire. Like it's about half a centimeter thick, and it looks coppery, and it's like really thin. Imagine speaker wire, you know, inside of a speaker cable. That sort of stuff. It looks like it's all been braided together. I can't remember what they call it. Oh, the braid is just called braid. Well, that stuff will suck up the solder with that as well. Really, I find that works really well. Yuri says the flux wick stuff. I have some of that, but it's fiddly when working on ICs. Yeah, it's a wicking thing made of metal, like braided wire. Smurf says the braid is just called braid. Hellforge says, I'm glad I'm using pickups on the guitar that doesn't require soldering. The stock pickups I had required it any time you wanted to switch it, which was a constant pain to deal with. 2 hours later, Snappy Girl said, my hands aren't steady enough. Hellforge says, okay, yeah, so anyway, we've spoken about the caps, so good luck changing those caps out, Smurf. Let us know how you go. Copy link. There we go. I want to check out the photos Sniper Girl's posted from her drone. Nice. I'm just looking at the detail here. Yeah, nice shots. Again, I'm zooming right in so I can check the detailing out. Yeah, lovely shot. Like, I'm impressed with the quality of the photograph coming out of the drone. You have a look at this other one. Again, I'm going to zoom right in because I want to see what sort of detail we're getting. I'm just seeing a bit of aberration along the edge of here. I'm just wondering what that might be. But the quality of the photos looks very nice. The colours and stuff are really good. How many megapixel did you say this was again, Sniper Girl? The camera on the drone? I can't remember. And this is a shot that she said she took after she felt comfortable enough to take the drone up to 300 feet. Oh, cool. I'm so jealous, you know. You live in a lovely area by the look of it with all these trees. All I look at is cement and concrete and bitumen roads, and it's just terrible. So I'm incredibly jealous. The area looks beautiful. So this is from 300 feet up. Cool. So you're getting the hang of the controls now? Smurf says the new caps probably won't arrive until after next week's stream. Okay, well when you get them and when you've been playing around with them, to put some photos in the Discord. Doesn't have to be today, tomorrow or next week. Just take your time. It's not hard to change out caps, so I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Trust me. Helpwood says 1 football field's worth of freedom right there. Yura says I was impressed with the colour in your photos. It didn't look washed out at all. You know, I'm impressed with the colour as well. The colour looks good. Yeah, no, colour looks good. Sniper Girl says the health boards is a school. It's near where I live. Wide open area. Health board says schools are just socially accepted prisons for children. Sniper Girl says 22 megapixel with 10-bit color. Okay. That's why the color's so good. Nice. Sniper Girl says, yeah, the controls are pretty easy now. Going to start messing with the camera options next weekend. Yeah, I knew it wouldn't take you long to get the hang of it. Drones are pretty easy to fly these days. Android Lust says, Sniper Girl, does the drone have zoom? Sniper Girl says, digital zoom, yes. Mechanical zoom, no. Again, remember guys, if you're doing photogrammetry, you don't want to be using a zoom on anything anyway. Not a digital and not a manual, no zoom. Yura says, why have zoom? You can just fly closer. That's what you should be doing. If you're doing photogrammetry, and just get closer to the object. Andrew Dust says, that was my next question. Zoom into no fly zones. Yuri says, you'd need a bigger drone to hold the telephoto zoom lens for an A51. Halfwood says, I agree, zoom is trash. Use Discord instead. Clever, Halfwood. Yes, zoom video. Okay, let me see here. What else have we got? What did Sniper post here? He's talking to Crosswind. How to deform your mesh inside Unreal 5. Well, there you go. I want to check out the gallery now because Wax Kink has posted a few images of what he's been working on. And what is this? A set of dual blades for sword timber. Made this little game ready set of blades for fun and practice. They look really cool. And I like the texturing. And again, Wax Kink's style is more of a painted texturing style. And he does a nice job. So a set of blades. Very nice. He's prolific. Wax Kink has been doing so much work. Hellforge has posted an image here as well, which is his Remington 870 12 gauge. Nice. I'm just going to check the ArtStation link out as well, Hellforge. But beautiful texturing work, really nicely modelled and textured. Yeah. I like the shot here as well, the render. Looks really cool. But I do want to check your ArtStation out. Because why not? Lovely work. Yeah, that looks really nice. Yeah, beautiful work, beautiful work. You should be very proud of what you've made here. It looks really good. Nice piece for your portfolio. Yeah, it looks great. Yep, I'm checking it out now. He says the ArtStation link has more pictures. Hang on, what are we talking about here? Yura says Area 51 is Area 51. Sniper Girl says, yep, good way of going to jail. And lose a drone because they'd shoot it down. Hellford says the ArtStation link. Yep, I've got that. It is, it's beautiful work. You've done a really, really nice job. You should be very, very pleased with what you've done because you've done beautiful work. It looks really good. I love the modeling and I love the texturing. I even like the scene you've set up here, the layout for the shot. It looks really cool. Yeah, really nice. Nice texturing work. Particularly on the wood, it looks really cool. Even down to the detailing of the lettering here. Very nice. Yeah, the wood in particular, love it. The shotgun shells look cool too. That's a nice shot, actually. I like again. I like your placement here for your shot. It looks really interesting, which is something a lot of people forget about when they're rendering up like their beauty shots for their portfolio. They forget to put things in interesting groupings, and that looks really cool. Nice work. Yeah, because it really helps to show off the model, and it's an interesting looking shot. It's not just a gun at an angle, which is what a lot of people do. You group things in an interesting grouping, which is important. To keep viewer interest, it's really important. And the same goes with this. Just the way you've laid this out as well. It's another good example of a really interesting way to show the model. So good work on that as well. Nice. And then we get into the breakdown. Yeah, it's beautiful work, Forge. Let's have a look at the shotgun as well. Yeah, I mean, I like this too. This looks great. Lovely work. You should be very proud of what you've done. Oh, what else do we have here? We have Sniper Echo's node graph, which again is quite impressive. So this is what Sniper Echo's been working on for his semi-procedural tool set. Yura says, yep, all that metal study from those references I sent you seem to be helping. It does look really good, as Android Lust says. Helpwood says, thank you, I have a great teacher, so that really helps with a lot with improving. Helpwood says, the way Mama said Toolbag reads materials is a bit different from Painter, so it's been fun to experiment with that and learn the ins and outs of it. Helpwood says, quality note spaghetti. It is quality note spaghetti. So long as Sniper Echo knows what's going on, that's all that matters. Wax Kink has also put another image in. Wow, I'm already past time. So let's check that out real quick. And this is a spooky, ghosty, glowing thing. It's day 1 of Sculptober, Wax Kink says. That looks very creepy and very scary. Just surface game with the drone. Sniper Girl, what were you talking about? Sniper Girl says, I did a surface scan with the drone. All of it was with the auto settings and obstacle avoidance. Good first attempt. I know I should be able to do better when I learn how to use the manual camera functions. So this is some photogrammetry, I believe, that Sniper Girl... Oh, why didn't that copy? That Sniper Girl's been doing with the drone. It's not a bad first attempt, I agree. Yeah, no, some nice detail coming up in the model. Nice. What are you using? Oh, you're using reality capture, aren't you? It looks like from the background here. Again, great program. Sniper Girl says, yeah, it was taken with the drone. I wanted to see how it would do. Android Lost says, don't you get happy when you see food? I know I do. Yuri says, only when it's bacon. Bacon hype. Sniper Girl says, yeah, reality capture. It's faster than Metashape, way faster. Yeah, I like reality capture as well. And it was good enough for Epic Games to buy, so you know it's good. And this is another one, pardon me, from Wax Kink. Second day of Sculptober, spent less on this one today. Again, another creepy. You like doing the creepy models, Wax Kink? I believe Wax Kink actually streams on Twitch as well, so if he's streaming, and I'm correct, I think I am, you should check out his stream as well. Alfwood says, I had bacon earlier today and it was on point. I haven't had bacon for a long time, actually. I do love it though. I think we might leave it there though for today, guys and girls. I do want to thank you though for being here and hanging out with me and watching. Now remember, I'm back on again tomorrow, but I start at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 11 a.m. in Australia. You guys must be working on Australian time, which is why I say to you, I always work on US time. So, yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific is when I'm live in the US. If you're going on Australian time, it'll be 11 a.m. So, bear that in mind. And then next month it will change again because the US finishes daylight saving, I believe. So, but we'll tackle that next month when the time comes. You're quite welcome. Yeah, you guys stay happy, healthy and safe. I will be back on again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll pick up where we left off and let's see how much work we can get done on the gate, shall we? You guys take care. See ya.